Welcome back to my crypto challenge to turn $500 into $50,000 within a year. After the very first month, my capital is already at $976 for a whopping 95% return. Stick along to find out how I did it and what's next. In order to get to $50,000 after a year, I need to generate average returns of 50% per month. So at this rate, my goal may happen sooner. First, I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm just documenting how I'm doing it as inspiration. But make no mistakes, there is a high probability I may lose my investment. Here's a quick recap. I invested $500 using Binance to buy Bitcoin when the price was $63,700. This would now be worth $559 since Bitcoin is now at $71,270 at the time of this recording. That's only an 11.8% return, but I used a nice little hack that increased my risk but significantly increased my returns. The trick is to use a margin account to borrow additional capital to make more trades using my BTC as collateral. I ended up buying Solana at various price points and taking occasional profits near significant resistance zones. I made sure to ensure my liquidation price would be near $100 to reduce the risk of liquidation. I also bought an additional $243 worth of BTC when the price declined to $62,202, as I felt it was a good opportunity to buy a bit more after a 2% dip. Soon, I will borrow additional capital to take more trade as my collateral value increases. But with the US presidential election coming, I expect major chops, so I won't take excessive risk just yet. For that reason, I placed a few stop-loss on Solana in case there is a black swan event related to the election or the Iran-Israel war. Meanwhile, I also placed many limit sell orders at the next big resistance zone as a take profit. If my stop-loss triggers, I will have some free margin left to buy back other assets at lower levels. For the same reason, I'm also placing new limit buy orders for Bitcoin if the price goes down significantly. In this case, it would be in case there is a US civil war that broke out, or a third world war. Since I don't know how deep Bitcoin price would go down, I'm going as far as $34,000. To choose my entry price for Bitcoin, I used the liquidation heat map on CoinGlass. The last bull market, Bitcoin price soared 382% over a period of 162 days after the US presidential election of November 3, 2020. Historically, this is called the parabolic phase of the bull market, and often lasts about 1 year post-election. If I can generate returns of 95% when Bitcoin price grow a modest 11.3%, then that potentially means 3,200% returns with the leverage, which also imply $976 could now turn into $31,344. But that doesn't take into account some form of compounding as I take more trades when my collateral grow in value. As well, for those like me that are entrepreneurs, I can crowdfund additional capital for my business in order to grow a business treasury composed of mostly Solana and Bitcoin. I can accomplish this on Smooth.fund, which is currently in a private beta, but will be launching soon. I expect that a period of trending price will occur, and will eventually go into another period of sideways consolidation at some point. This is when grid bots become very interesting, so subscribe to the channel to learn more tricks and advanced trading strategies that will either reduce my risk or increase my returns. With 95% return in my first month, I exceeded my goal of an average 50% return per month, and I'm well on my way to growing my $500 into $50,000. I also run a free private Telegram community that you can join to stay up to date with more time-sensitive changes to my strategy. If you enjoy this video, feel free to comment below and request specific content or clarification. Otherwise, stay tuned for the next video, which explains in more detail the BTC funding hack that every solopreneur needs to know in 2024.